and deliver.
There, oh, your money or your life. Adam Ant, what a great friggin' musician. Hey, everybody, hello and welcome to the Dutch American
Yeah,
Connection, otherwise subtitled Two Old Friends Just Talking, and you get to listen to what they say. See, we're suitable if you want us playing in the background while you're cooking or you're baking or you're having a conversation, or maybe you don't want to go to work, or maybe you want to tell work that you're at a convention or something, and you can have us playing in the background to make it sound like you're somewhere where there's other people. So, uh, to be able to do that, you want to be able to have us at your beck and call. So right now, click like and subscribe, and
exactly.
we'll always be there for you. We'll be there for you. We'll be there for you, no matter what you do. Anyway,
Nice.
Tone. How the
Ja,
hell
man.
are you?
Wat zeg je?
How are you? How are you, my
How
handsome
are
friend?
you? I'm doing better because I was ill together with my wife, Ivona, and we've been laying on the couch for the last week and just feeling awful. And um, but now we're doing better. It's a little bit fluish, a cold. I don't know, something in that direction. And sometimes that happens. And at least it wasn't Corona. I'm happy. I'm happy about that.
You know,
So
what's amazing to me is it's making the rounds there. It's making the
yeah,
rounds here. And with international travel and well, who knows, man, some of this stuff could be spread by packages. I read a real interesting article the other day that I never thought about. I'm a fan of secondhand stores, thrift shops, things like that, right? I didn't know
yes,
this. I didn't know this, but the clothing in those thrift shops, especially if they've never been washed, bacteria can live in clothing for up to 200 days.
no way. Really?
Yep.
Okay,
So,
nice.
people, if you like to shop at your favorite secondhand, pre-owned, whatever it is, give it a second lease on life store. Any clothing you buy, wash that sucker when you get home.
Yeah. Well, in the Netherlands, they're probably aware of the whole phenomenon that you just mentioned because uh, at least at the thrift shop that I'm going, the the kringloopwinkel, as they call it in the
Yeah,
Netherlands,
the
uh,
that's that
they
is
do
that
they
is that the
watch it.
one in that's the one we've been to, yeah?
Oh, there are several around here,
I
and
know. That's so
if
nice.
I go to well the stuff that they sell. And what it is, it all depends on the area that the thrift shop is located
Right.
in, of course. And so, if I want clothing, I obviously go to a place to the city because in the city you have more modern um, clothing, and they do wash it over there. They do, and
So
I know they do because
I love,
normally it's a bit smelly in a thrift shop with all
oh,
the
sure.
respect, but in that one, no, it doesn't. It's nice.
Well, I mean,
Right.
it becomes smelly for other reasons. People move the old furniture in, and when was the last time
Yeah.
that couch got a good deep cleaning? But I love that you talked about going into the city to get nicer clothes, because I stopped at a thrift shop when I down south. I stopped in a thrift shop in a really nice city, and you would expect you go into this thrift shop and you're going to find great stuff because really wealthy people live around
Course,
there. And when they die, what
course.
happens to their stuff, right?
Correct.
Dude, I I could find better clothes at a Dollar Tree, at a dollar store. In fact, I found better clothes at a thrift store in Fort Pierce, which is kind of in the middle of nowhere in the
Yeah.
center of the
Yeah.
state,
Yeah.
versus this
Okay.
this is this place with a with a Tony Palm Beach address and zip code. Man, it was, I went in there and went, what the hell? There's nothing but crap in there. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah, I
I
digress.
digress.
That's what we
Um,
do all the time, so it doesn't matter.
no, it's something like I said, for those of you listening, we're two old friends talking about whatever we talk about. Now, usually you're pretty fortunate because you learn things, maybe about how to take on a project or a garden or a bonsai tree or building
Right.
a tiki bar. And other times, yeah, we don't talk about anything that makes any sense at all. But
Right.
hey, las pendicas.
But anyway, I would love to talk about Thanksgiving today,
Yeah,
amongst
you
other things,
mentioned
of
that.
course. Yeah, yeah, because this morning, of course, in the Netherlands, so well, of course, they do talk about America every once in a while, especially with the elections, of course. But now, there was this in the news this morning about, and I thought it was really funny, and Americans probably don't look at that way, but
Yeah, you
as
were
a
talking
Dutchman, I
about
would, yeah, yeah,
the two turkeys that were
right,
pardoned.
yeah, no. How can you be pardoned from something you never did? You didn't do anything, so you're just a
Well,
turkey.
you're
You're
right.
just
You
being.
didn't commit a crime, but you're heading
Uh,
you're heading to
yeah,
the turkey equivalent of the electric chair anyway. So
yeah. We're gonna
this is
grant you
this
pardon because we're not gonna eat you this time. Next time we
this
do.
no no what so if they get pardoned, they're not going to get eaten at all. They actually get to live the rest of their life in a petting farm or something like that.
I know, but it's pretty funny, isn't it? You did granted
So,
pardon to
well,
something that never did anything.
I know, well, you're going to find
That's
this
funny.
even more amusing. The beauty, there's that expression that history is written by the victors, and Thanksgiving is a great example of something that doesn't even really closely resemble whatever it was as far as we know. It's a wonderfully packaged, beautifully polished holiday. And I'm sure you would jump right in and say that somebody beat you to the punch, like Christmas, for example, you know?
Yeah, okay, but that's also obviously celebrated as well, the Christmas
Oh,
time or
of
the
course.
yeah. So what is the special significance? Where did it come from with the whole Thanksgiving thing, holidays? What is it? Where
Well,
did where did it come from?
my thing without knowing the deep layered history. And if you're watching and listening, please feel free
Yeah,
to chime in with why we celebrate Thanksgiving. I mean, we know why we
yeah,
celebrate Thanksgiving. We're giving thanks to the connection that we created with the Native Americans, the indigenous people who were here before we arrived, and then when those forefathers arrived and foremothers on the Mayflower, after say they said thank you, and it's not likely that they actually celebrated with turkeys. It was probably harvested vegetables, maybe if they were lucky, rabbits and other small game. But
okay,
the thing of a turkey, I don't think that really was a thing until much later. Very much like Christmas, the way we know it, really wasn't a
yeah.
thing until um, its current manifestation finds its roots in, I think, Victorian England. You can correct me
Hmm.
if I'm wrong. So anyway, Thanksgiving has
Right.
really Thanksgiving in America has become a holiday about excess. There's always so much damn food on the table. It never gets finished. So you have turkey, cranberry, and sweet potato sandwiches for weeks on end. But it's also an opportunity to watch the Thanksgiving Day parade, and which is also kind of the door opened up into the holiday season because
Mhm.
the Macy's Day Thanksgiving Day parade, if you get a chance to watch it, it's it's fun because it's a piece of nostalgia that goes back several decades, and it's closed with the arrival of Santa Claus, who shows up to say, ho ho ho, welcome everybody, and happy holiday,
Oh,
whatever he
really?
says, and then that basically kicks open the door to the
Yeah,
holidays. And there are people who, rightfully so, there are people who get pissed off when holiday and Christmas decorations go up even before Halloween has happened. And they
yeah,
go up, the stores start selling this stuff even before Thanksgiving. So
yeah,
it's a pretty fascinating thing to listen to people talk about this, and express their displeasure. And I get it,
yeah,
but
yeah.
here's an important thing to look at with Thanksgiving. And this is a thing that really makes this American holiday connect more to the Dutch than maybe any other holiday. And it's
Mm,
the importance of gathering family and close friends together, because
great.
you have asked me this before. Why do I love the Netherlands? One big important thing is the social fabric. Family and friends are important.
Mm,
It's about experiences. It's not about buying shit, right? Excuse me for saying
yeah,
that. I'm not even going to beep that out, so I don't care. Anyway, um, Thanksgiving is an opportunity.
yeah.
I'm unfortunately, because of several things going on, I have a beautiful friend, old friend as well, who uh, their one big family holiday get together is Thanksgiving, and people come in from all over the country. They will have the year that we were there, and this is what they do. So today is Tuesday. They will start later today. They've got a massive, it's the length of a caravan smoker. They will cook. They'll cook They'll cook half a cow, they'll cook a whole pig, they'll cook a bunch of fish, and they will start preparing that 48 hours before Thanksgiving Day. And the year that we were there, Thanksgiving Day, 84 people were there.
Oh, that's wow.
That, I
That
mean,
that's
gezellig.
some get together, right?
So nice. Yeah, and that's a thing that's really important to the Dutch. And it just, for me, it's so heartwarming. And what happens is a few of the men will get together the day before
Yeah.
to marinate the meats, prep the meats, cut the meats, and they'll get the smoker ready so that they can fire it up. And
Uh,
they ain't messing around. This is how it's done. The food's amazing. You don't they go to a restaurant depot, which is a big place like Home Depot for
right.
restaurants, and they will
Mm,
buy 100 to-go containers, because you don't get to leave without
mm.
taking food with you.
Oh, really? Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's something else.
It's
That is
it's
really
it is
cool.
it is so wonderful. And at the
Yeah,
heart at the
I can
heart of it,
imagine.
it's about family. It's the thing to be thankful for is
Yeah,
family. Whatever
yeah,
we believe it originated as, it's at a place now where we celebrate the connections that are meaningful.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, that's really the only thing. We do that at Christmas, of course.
Hmm.
And also a little bit met Sinterklaas natuurlijk. And
Yeah.
two things. Sinterklaas is probably very funny or a little bit embarrassing in Americans' eyes, but and I can understand why. On the other hand, there's a lot of political correctness going on in there, which is a little bit of well,
Well,
okay.
I
So that's the
remember.
first thing. Second thing is really important to me is that I also and a lot of Dutch people get annoyed about the commercial aspect that the Christmas time and the Sinterklaas it goes the same what you just mentioned. We have the same
But
thing
it's
going on
true.
in the Netherlands as well. Yeah.
It's true. It
Yeah.
everything has been commercialized. I jokingly refer to these events as Hallmark holidays, because Hallmark is widely
Yeah.
known as a
Yeah.
card company. But if they find a
Yeah.
way to market it, you walk into a supermarket and you see these massive displays
Right.
These inflatable, hey, make sure you have plenty of beer for Thanksgiving. Make sure, hey, did you remember this? Did you get this? Be sure to decorate. You're
Yeah.
right. The vast commercial is, and we, there's a great show on Netflix called Buy Now. And
Buying now.
you ought to watch it by now
Okay.
because it's a powerful indictment on
Yeah.
the consumer driven mindset that affects not just Western civilization, but Eastern as well.
Mm.
You have Middle and Far East also having to buy shit. Needing to, I need
Yeah.
another Lamborghini. I better get that really posh Coach purse or Dooney and Bourke or whatever the hell it is I've got to have so I can hang it on my arm. And people, it's just
Mm.
Elita and I, if quite a few years ago, we were flying internationally. And when we got off the plane to go through customs, border, uh, uh, border access, border control, she she said, "Well, Jesus Christ!" And I went, "What?" And she pointed out, and there was a guy standing with his family, and he was wearing a $25,000 watch, $3,000 shoes. She imagined his pants and shirt were a few $1,000s. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, so my mindset is two parts. I mean, if you got the money, sure, go ahead and spend it. But again, there's other stuff I'd rather do with that money.
Good. Yeah.
Just because I can, as
Yeah.
I once was told, just because you can dry clean your jeans doesn't mean you should dry clean your jeans. No, just
Right.
freaking wash them like everything else.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
correct. The commercialism has it's a driving force. And the thing that people don't ever think
Mm.
about is if you're buying something to replace something, where's the replaced something going?
Exactly. Well, you can sell it, of course.
Yeah, but
Yeah. At
where?
least.
Where? But that's you. There, do
All
me a
depends.
favor.
Yeah.
Watch Buy Now. When you see the number of phones that are produced every second and the number that
Yeah.
it's the big lie, just like plastic recycling.
Right.
Over there in the Netherlands, you all do an amazing job of recycling. Here,
Mm.
it is absolute BS. I
That's a
don't
shame.
recycle, and
Yeah.
I'm willing to admit it, and I will tell you why. I watched more times than I could count the trash guy come through, grab the stuff out of the recycling bin, and dump it in the trash. And before anyone types in, wait a minute, they were putting it into a different channel. No, they weren't. I watched. It got mixed
Yeah.
up with the
Yeah.
garbage. So what's the
Yeah.
point?
Yeah.
Why make extra work for myself?
Right.
I love in the Netherlands that if it can be recycled,
Mm.
you damn
Yeah.
well better recycle it. And in the Northeast US, some cities and states feel more strongly about that. Everybody else doesn't
Yeah.
care. And that's why. So, Florida, for example, the tallest mountains in Florida are all called by the same name, Mount Trashmore.
About trash more. Oh, is that really true or is it just a joke?
No, it's
How do you read
true.
that, huh?
It's
Piles of
true.
shit? Sure.
If you use your favorite search engine and write what is Mount Trashmore in America or in Florida, you'll see pictures of giant friggin' landfills.
Well, okay. Okay. Um, One thing. In the Netherlands, it doesn't always go the way it should with recycling.
Right.
What you just described about America, it happens here as well sometimes,
Oh,
which I saw.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
on the other hand, you're incentivized financially where they're incentivized financially up in the Northeast US. You will see it. If I had a bottle here, I'd show you. In these states, get 5 cents back or 10 cents back. And I remember,
yeah,
I go
yeah,
with you to the supermarket and you feed the plastic bottles in and it gives you a ticket, which you take to
yeah,
the cashier when you're
yeah.
paying for your groceries, and that amount is
Yes,
credited to your bill.
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that is not a thing here. Not with
yeah, here it's
plastic, not with beer
yeah.
bottles.
Well, it's even more like first it started out with the big Coke bottles and orange, of course, and all that stuff, and it was
Yeah.
only the 1.5 liter, or how much would that be? Like half a gallon or something.
Yeah, half
I don't know.
gallon.
Anyway,
About.
yeah. For the big bottles, they used to recycle them here as well.
Right.
Like with the money, you get the money back if you you return the bottle. But now they have started with the smaller bottles in the cans as well. And it's still a lot of hiccups, of course, because it's a new system. And all the machines that take in the bottles and the shit, they have to be readjusted and recalibrated and
So
everything and all that. And so, but it's getting there. It's getting there. It's working.
you're
And
at
it's getting
least
better all the time.
you're focused on that
Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
have the wisdom of seeing down the road. Here in the United States, they don't
Mm.
care. And in fact, they played
Yeah.
they played the psychology game of putting the onus of recycling responsibility on the consumer, not the
It's always.
manufacturer who makes it. It's like, do you want a clean world? Do you want a clean America? Do your job and recycle.
Yeah. Do your
Step, it's
duty.
like
That's what you say. Yeah.
they're the ones. It's the same.
Yeah.
It's interesting with the computer manufacturing companies and the telephone manufacturing companies. They're trying to come up with ways to keep you from opening or working on your phone or computer. They will glue the units together so you can't break them apart. And
Yeah.
and I love the
Yeah.
Apple lost a lawsuit. And this all goes back to recycling. Apple lost a lawsuit where they were trying to claim that people who purchased their phones didn't have a right to repair them. They said that's our merchandise. You don't have a right. It's like, well, but I bought it. I have a right to fix it.
Of
And they
course.
lost a lawsuit where they
Of
came out and said, we're making it so that you can now do the work. They didn't do it on their own. They make it sound like they're
course.
being all good and benevolent. They didn't do it on their
Well,
own. And
that's always how it
and
goes,
that's
man.
the
It's a
that's the
scam.
biggest challenge with the Southeast US, much of the Midwest as
Yeah.
well when it comes to recycling. You
It's
know,
all a big scam.
the reality, especially when you go out into the country, a lot of families, especially if they had decent sized properties, my house in Davenport, same thing. Back corner of the property, because they lived there as long as they did, and that was a home for as
Mm.
long as it was. Back corner of the property was a landfill that they had just dug a big hole and threw things. I found medicine bottles and old milk bottles from the 40s, 50s, and 60s back there.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
okay.
it's all it's
Okay.
fun. It's fun from an archaeological perspective, but
Yeah.
it's terrible because of what it represents. And again,
Yeah.
these manufacturing companies, they create, they build, they don't care about what happens after it gets to the end of its cycle of life. They don't care because they're already producing the next thing.
Yeah. Because you told me this a while ago. Because big companies are acting like psychopaths. You remember that? Telling me that?
Yes.
Yeah. Because they don't want.
Tell me
Because
I'm wrong.
they have to. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Very right. Oh yeah. And what I'm just saying, it's a big scam because it's really nasty. It's really devious as well because all the time what they're doing, these big companies and a lot of smaller companies as well, they go like, hey, well, the consumer should take responsibility to recycle. No, 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 no. You have to take responsibility in everything that you produce. That it's the whole cycle is.
It's like a an automotive manufacturer selling a vehicle it knows has a known defect and saying, "Well, you should
Right.
fix that defect."
Yeah.
Oh, it slips into gear. It automatically slips into gear without anybody ever doing anything when you're in a parking lot. Well, you figure that out. Yeah, no, it
Yeah. That's
is,
the problem. Yeah.
but and also the other problem, and I know this is global, it's not just America, is instead of taking a look at what the challenge might be and then bringing people together to fix it, it's always easier to play the blame game and to point the finger at someone else and say, well, it's your fault, it's not mine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, pretty bad.
So I
But
I would I would say, if you really wanted to make a difference, the only way that companies really truly pay attention is based on whether or not their purses get thicker or thinner. And you can always, whatever it is you're looking to get, there's a company doing it sustainably. And
yes,
and that's a thing that people should think about. And if there's not a company doing it sustainably, you sit down with them and say, "Hey, you ought to consider doing this because it's a misnomer. It's a fallacy to think that one voice doesn't have any power because you just multiply those voices, one voice, one voice, one voice, one voice. And then suddenly companies are paying attention and saying, "You're right, we heard you. We're going to start doing the right thing. It's going to cost a little more, but we know you're going to pay it." Whatever you're talking about, wage discrepancy is a big thing between your country and the United States. And there's a trend that's growing, happening up in the Northeast. I feel like it started in New York, where some of these award-winning chefs put up signs that said, "Hey, we are paying our people a living wage, tip only if you feel it's absolutely necessary, if you had amazing service."
mm,
But our people are getting $20 an hour, $22 an hour, whatever they're getting. Because the reality now, which is absolute BS, is if you go out to eat in a full service restaurant,
mm,
you're expected to tip. And you're expected to tip because you are making up the part of the salary that the server is not getting because they're not getting paid minimum wage. Like,
exactly,
like if you showed
exactly.
up to get a job, working at a front desk in a hotel, your starting pay might be, I don't know, 15, 18, $20 an hour. If you're working in a restaurant in the same hotel, you're getting $5 or $6 an hour. And the people you serve are expected to make you whole by paying your salary and tips. And I think that is absolute BS. And yeah, I've talked to
I agree.
restaurateurs who's like, "Well, how do you expect me to be in business?" And I went, "Well, you know what? If you charge a little more for your food, but you pay your people a little more, your customer base is going to grow because they're going to feel good about the fact that you're doing that." And that's what's happening in New York.
Yeah,
These
really.
restaurants that are paying their service staff, their busing staff, a living wage plus benefits, people are coming in. It's like, "Yeah, I know I'm paying 50 cents extra for a meal, a buck extra for a meal. That's fine. I'll do it. I'll do it because in the end, it's
Yeah,
going to good. It's
yeah,
not going into the owner's pocket."
right. And I think, in my opinion, it could be better if you have like an in-between system or something like that. Because in the Netherlands, every everything that you just said is here in the Netherlands. It works like that. What you see here is that the motivation of people in bars and restaurants, stuff like that, they're not really all too keen about doing a good job.
Right.
You know, they're kind of, yeah, whatever, I'll get paid
Right.
anyway. So it's the flip side. So
Yeah,
yes, it can be a good incentive to make people work for tips, but you also have to give them a decent salary as well. So
I agree.
it's
And
a little bit of
well, it may surprise you now that to know, we've gone into this complete tipping culture. If you go to a quick serve location, when you're paying, they give you the option of giving a tip. It's like, why am I giving you a tip? There,
right,
that makes no sense, right? That's like
exactly.
nergens op. But
Yeah, you get the tip if you deserve it.
yeah, I've
Yeah.
also been to plenty of places where the service sucked. And
Yep.
my belief, you and I both worked in entertainment and hospitality, and our
Yeah.
beliefs are the same. I will patronize a place where the food is just okay, but the service is great, versus a place where the food is incredible, award-winning food, but the service sucks. Nope, you lost me. So it's not
Okay.
going to happen.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
um, we can make a difference with our wallets. We can make a difference by being diplomatic, and I think that's
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
at
And
that. We
also,
talked about Thanksgiving and
yeah,
social
yeah.
matters.
I have one more thing to add to that, and because that's in the basis, it's with recycling, but also with working environments, and also with people taking responsibility and everything like that. You know, in America, there's this big thing. It's quite contrary to in the Netherlands because we have a socialist system, and that's a really bad thing for a lot of people, a lot of Americans. I mean,
That's another
and
episode. Don't
but it,
get me started, my
but
brother.
yeah, but it's only just one thing. It's a good thing that people that governments take responsibility for certain really important matters. Because if they don't, you cannot say with everything, oh yeah, well, we don't need government interference and it's bad for the economy. It's not. It really is not. It's
No.
just a lie. It's just a lie. It's
Well,
the
and
capitalist system is good enough, you
well,
know. But if
you see where your money is going when the government steps in,
yeah,
and especially, with everything that's happening and the current climate, everybody screams that they don't want government interference, and then they got mad. They got mad when FEMA couldn't get to parts of Asheville to help people after the hurricane, after the storms blew through. So the US government is damned if they do and damned if they don't. And now I think after January 20th, at least for the next couple of years, the world as we know it is damned if they do and damned if they don't.
right.
So,
Very good example, like the corona pandemic.
mhm,
It's a very good example of what happened then,
yeah,
because the problem of the pandemic was not that a lot of people were dying. The problem was that they couldn't treat all the people that got ill.
right,
That's the problem. Because and in the Netherlands that it was as well because in the Netherlands now for the last decade or a little bit longer we have commercialized healthcare as well as in America. It's not the same, but it's in principle it's the same. So what happens is all the intensive care beds spaces they got they how do you say that they they went out because they said, well, we don't use them all the time. No, of course not.
right.
So in a state controlled healthcare system, those beds are available at all times in case you need them.
That's right.
So,
It's
and
like
if
it's
if,
like
if that
insurance.
would have
You
been the
have
case, it wouldn't have been there
correct.
wouldn't have been a problem.
It's like insurance. You have insurance
Yeah.
in case you need it.
Mm,
That's how it works. That's how it works. And I agree.
yeah.
Man, we really opened up a bunch in this episode. I love it. This was good with all the things happening. Um, I'm I look forward to our conversations, and I hope those of you listening and watching do as well. And if you haven't already, click like and subscribe. Damn it, we're tired of asking you to do it. Just do it. It's okay. There are worse things. Look, some of you have clicked like and subscribe to cute little kitty channels. We're not that. So come
Yeah.
on. Come on. We're making the
Right.
world a better place one conversation at a time, and we're
We're trying
inviting you to
to.
be a part of that conversation.
Yeah. Just talk to each other, people. That's important.
I agree. I
It
agree.
is. Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
agree.
Mhm. I do too.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being a part of Tone and Ron and the Dutch American connection. And
Right.
please share on any of our social media spaces. Please share on our YouTube channel. Let us know your thoughts. Please contribute. Please add. Please let us
Right.
know what we're not talking about. Please share with us the burning thing you need to hear us talk about. All right.
Right.
And um, be kind to each other, please. Not just because it's Thanksgiving week here in the United States. Be kind to each other because that never ever goes out of style.
Yes, it is. And you know, uh, be aware of people who try to sell you bullshit and stay true
That's
to
right.
to yourself. Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
it. Yeah. Okay.
If it smells like crap and it looks like crap and it's warm when you step into it, don't let someone tell you it's chocolate pudding. Because if they do, you
Right.
tell them you tasted first. All right, everybody. Uh,
Yes.
we love you, Tone. I love you most. And
Uh,
thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And we'll talk to you soon. Later.
Later.